And we're live. Welcome back, traders, for another daily market recap. And welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth. It's Rod with Pow Group. And in today's video, we're going to discuss DoorDash and a latest Citron short report on the company. And before we jump into today's video, make sure to smash the like and subscribe to the channel. So I wanted to do this video a little earlier today. I was just itching to get this video out because there's a lot going on today. It's been a crazy day across all sectors. The crypto sector, we're seeing all-time highs in Bitcoin and many alts, seeing some breakouts, but obviously lagging behind Bitcoin. But Bitcoin, all-time highs. We're seeing QQQ, the tech sector, with all-time highs and a huge push here. And Tesla just absolutely in full beast mode. So can't wait to go over some charts here in just a little bit. So first on the list, we'll go through some news and events. So we did see an update from Congress as they're scrambling to finalize the relief package and avoid shutdown as the deadline nears. And McConnell is saying that they're very, very close. And hopefully we should have some updates on that by the end of the week. We also had the US weekly jobless claims come in at 885,000 versus 808 expected. So this is another week that we missed. I believe it's 3 in a row now, but you can see here last week was 862, so it did rise slightly. So that has been a downward spiraling trend for the last little while, and we'll continue to monitor that and see when that starts to change. But I've been calling that out for a while now, that due to seasonality and people losing jobs due to the summer ending and things like that likely contributing. Canada sees slowest population growth since 1946 on the latest economic travel bans. We also saw that Google gets hit with its third antitrust lawsuit since October by bipartisan coalition of states. You can check that article out if you want to learn more about that. SEC charges Robinhood with misleading customers about how it makes money. So we saw that multiple states, I mentioned in my video yesterday, essentially calling it the worst, gamifying investing and just basically, luring in young and newer investors who are not knowledgeable in the subject and just rigging the game, so to speak. And we'll continue to monitor this, but not good. Definitely not good in terms of retail traders. And we'll see probably just going to be a slap on the wrist in my opinion, but I would say we probably see a change to their KYC or some sort of policy that they have to implement to stay in compliance. So DoorDash, as the title of the video suggests, falls today as short seller Citron calls it the most ridiculous IPO of 2020. They slap a $40 price target, which is huge considering we are over double that right now. So we'll look in the chart here in just a second, but we'll continue through the rest of these. I just did a video on this as well. So Coinbase is filing for an IPO, initial public offering. So they're going to be a stock eventually, a public stock that you can buy shares of on Fidelity or TD Ameritrade or RBC. All these, every major stock exchange should have it available. So we'll continue to monitor that, and we'll see how the Bitcoin bulls react after the market close, as we are closing extremely strong. We also saw that New Jersey lawmakers passes bill to regulate biggest East Coast recreational marijuana market. So you can check that out if you want to learn more about that. We also had an article here shared from our member, Pow Group member, Monique. So thanks, shout out to you, Monique, for sharing this. But pot sector M&A, mergers and acquisitions activity is ramping up, and many analysts are expecting it to continue to ramp up as in the wake of the Aphria-Tilray merger. So it's going to create essentially a lot of competition. So hours after Aphria Inc. and Tilray Inc. formally announced their blockbuster merger that would create a global cannabis powerhouse, some cannabis producer CEO received a deluge of messages from several Canadian investment bankers wondering if they'd be interested in a deal of their own. The phone is ringing off the hook, said one cannabis producer CEO who declined to be named, given the discussions with the bankers are preliminary. So let me know in the comments below, who do you think the CEO is that has their phone ringing off the hook that is in talks with bankers? Personally, I think it could be Hexo. So we'll continue. Another one is potentially Cron, but Cron has a partner with Altria. And Molson Coors has a partner with Hexo, but it's a little different because it's just a partnership with the Trust beverage. So Molson Coors owns a majority stake in that joint venture. So it's not the same as Altria and or Canopy, where Canopy and Constellation Brands actually owns, you know, Canopy majority stake. So a little different of a deal. So we'll see if that ends up being Hexo or Kronos. I doubt it would be Kronos again because of that deal with Altria, which is the Marlboro cigarette company. We know it's not going to be Canopy as they have the acreage deal. So personally, I think it's either going to be Hexo. Just trying to think here if we have any. There's Sundial. Just going to bring up the list here. I assume it's a Canadian company as well, but it could be Aurora. We do know that Aurora was looking at potentially merging with Aphria, and the deal fell through due to compensation and other intricacies that were not resolved. But I think it's either going to be Aurora, Hexo. Those would be the only real two that I put my money on. So if I had to guess, it's going to be Hexo. Second pick would be Aurora. Only reason why I picked Hexo first is because I don't know why anybody would want to partner with Aurora. Sorry to any Aurora fanboys or fangirls out there, but I personally do not like the stock or their products whatsoever. But hey, that's just my own personal opinion. But we'll see if there's any more development on that. We'll be keeping an eye out, like I said, for any M&A activity as it is starting to ramp up in the space. And with Aphria and Tilray combining forces, it's only going to spark more interest for other companies to follow in their footsteps so they don't get left behind and continue to dominate the cannabis market. So I found this article as well, which I found very interesting. What are Canada's best cannabis products? So we'll go through it here. Best sativa was Pedro Sweet Sativa by Color Cannabis. Never even heard of it. Let me know in the comments below if you've tried any of these. Pink Kush by Flower Cannabis. I know that one has received good reviews. Spinach Diesel by Kronos Group. I have tried that. It's fantastic. It's a little pricey. Personally, I think it's overpriced for the value for what it is. Broken Coast, best small batch and cannabis craft cannabis brand of the year. I would agree with that. Again, overpriced though. Best CBD brand of the year, Free by Soleil. Best cannabis beverage was Little Victory by Trust, so Hexo and Molson Coors. Best indica pre-roll, Subway Scientist by Riff, which I believe is Aphria. Best sativa pre-roll, Blue Dream by Simply Bare Organics. Best hybrid pre-roll, Collab Project. Brand of the year, Redican, which is odd. Thought brand of the year was Original Stash by Hexo, but maybe that was a different award that they won. But personally, I can't stand Redican. I bought a vape from them and it's just nothing but issues. And yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. And I also saw a cool article here from the Motley Fool. Again, we take what they say with a grain of salt because one minute obviously they have a bunch of different analysts. So some analysts can be bullish, some can be bearish. That's why we see conflicting reports a lot of the times, but it's pretty cool saying which is the better cannabis stock to buy, Hexo or Trulieve. So to put Hexo right there in the same category as Trulieve, I mean, that headline alone is bullish. But then they go on to say essentially that Hexo and Trulieve have investors talking. In a short period of time, both companies have generated spectacular results in their business operations and show no signs of slowing down. Such performances are especially stunning considering Hexo and Trulieve were founded less than a decade ago. They are also trading at very lucrative metrics and arguably very undervalued compared to their future potential. So which one is better at the long run? The case for Hexo is a seller of premium dried flowers, oils, vapes, cannabis-infused beverages. The company holds a leading market share in Quebec. In the first quarter, Hexo sales grew by a stunning 103% year over year to 29.5 million Canadian dollars. The company also managed to cut its operations loss from 60 million to 2.6 million in the same period. Aside from having wildly popular dried cannabis brands like Original Stash, Hexo's partnership with Molson Coors to develop pot-based beverages also has earned the business new bragging rights. During the quarter, Hexo's beverage segment grew about 3 million in revenue, up 54% from the prior quarter. In fact, the company now holds top cannabis beverage brand in all of Canada through the new venture, which is called Trust, unseating previously titled holder Canopy Growth. And then the case for Trulieve. Trulieve is a US pot company, expanded 73 stores across 6 states in the inception of 2015. The company dominates the medical market in Florida, where it is currently 52% market share. So for 2020, the company is on track to generate their positive EBITDA and in a much better financial situation. So they say, which one is the better buy? And obviously, Trulieve has run hundreds of percent since the March lows, and Hexo is basically a little over 100%, so it's still a lot more room to grow, and that's why I like Hexo better. And they tend to agree with me, as they say Hexo is definitely the better value stock, as its valuation of 5.5 times sales and 1.2 times book value. Meanwhile, Trulieve is the ideal bet for growth investors, as the company has been profitable since 2017 and stands to benefit more easily from the expanding state-by-state market in the US. This more than justifies its premium of 8.9 times sales and 9.3 times net assets and 57 times earnings. So in my opinion, I'd be going with Hexo. Trulieve's at all-time highs. Why would you want to buy at all-time highs? I'd be at least waiting for some daily consolidation, but we'll look into those charts here in just a moment. But we'll look into some overall, if you're new to the channel, we have a schedule, so we go over the news and events for the day that I find pertinent to relay on to you folks. And then we go into an overview and some charting of the overall broader market, including the crypto space and the metals, so gold and that type of thing, and then SPY, the S&P 500. Then we'll go into some individual tickers and some summaries. So we'll look at the crypto space. So crypto is pulling back. I've been averaging in here a little bit on this pullback. I mentioned in my video yesterday, I started to establish a position in XRP, and you can see I started building it here. We were in this hourly downtrend, and we were still consolidating on the daily. We got down to 43 cents, so I started averaging in around 50. I bought one tranche around 50, another one around 48, another one around 47, and had about an average of about 48, between 48 and 50 cents. And then we saw that huge breakout with Bitcoin going to all-time highs. Then alt started to catch up, and we also had this ascending triangle here on the hourly on XRP, which I doubled down there on that break. And the measured move of this ascending triangle brought us to the 65 cent level. We also had a 15-minute bull flag, which the measured move brought us to 65. So as soon as we hit 65, we were overextended on the RSI. We were heavily overbought. I think we were close to 90 on the RSI on the hourly chart. So I exited at 65 cents, and I just re-entered on this dump here. I entered one at, I think it was 60 cents, and I didn't get the chance to add on this drop to 57 cents. And then I was waiting for a 15-minute trend change. We never got it yet. Still scouting a higher low here compared to the 57 cents. And we're getting close to that support. So I just added another little bit here. I will add if we get to 55 cents and again at 50 cents. But again, this is a longer term position, and I sold today as we were getting extreme, locked in those profits, and I was able to reload about 10% cheaper. So we're still selling off here, and depending on how extreme we get, I may have to pause this for a second and place another order. I do have some limit orders in on XRP, but personally I'm choosing XRP as my horse. But let's take a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin on the daily breaking to higher highs, all-time highs. Absolutely insane. $23,776 was the all-time high, the new all-time high. And we were watching the double top here at that level. And that's exactly what happened. We double topped and pulled back significantly, lost about 6%. And we're still pulling back, so no signs of it yet. I personally would be a little cautious up here. We're not 15-minute oversold yet. Personally, if you're a bull waiting to get in, 5-minute oversold was money. Same with XRP. So XRP on the 5-minute, once we hit 5-minute oversold, we jumped about 10%. Taking a look at Bitcoin, on that 5-minute oversold, we hit about 5%. So again, that's why I picked our XRP, as it did change the 4-hour trend as well on XRP BTC. So XRP has been notably stronger, and that's why I picked them as my horse. And that's why we saw a bigger bounce on the 5-minute oversold, in my opinion. But essentially, hard to imagine that we just keep going straight up from here. I mean, we are going parabolic on this Bitcoin chart, but Could this be a blow off top here on the daily? We have a daily bull volume climax. Looks like it's shaping up. We are getting overbought on the daily, but we have some bearish RSI divergence here with the lower highs and lower lows on the RSI and higher breaking to higher high on the price level. So watch out for a potential volume climax. If we finish with an upper wick, could be similar to what happened to MindMed. I did a video on that where it had a blow off top. But if we close weak here, got about 2 hours and 45 minutes left in the day. So if we close weak, then we could potentially see a blow off top. But bulls have a ton of room to form a daily high or low compared to 17,580. So we could drop 25% from here and still be in a daily uptrend. So if you're a patient bull, maybe you're waiting for hourly oversold. If you're an aggressive bull, you know, it's hard to justify a position here. I mean, we could pull back. If you're going to enter off some previous support levels or EMA 12 or 26 period, those are some potential bounce points. EMA 12 was lost, but EMA 26 is holding. So no real support though, down until 19,300 on the hourly. We didn't really establish any clear pivot point here. And you could technically say we're in a hourly downtrend with a lower high and lower low, but we didn't really get much follow through. So you zoom out to the 4-hour chart and this could be a 4-hour bull flag. And if the 4-hour bull flag were to confirm, we'd be looking at a measured move to around 27,000 over the course of the next few days. So that's where we stand on Bitcoin. Everything's still pulling back a little bit here, but looking like it wants to hold these recent lows. Bitcoin dropped to a new lower low. And so did Link. So Link and Bitcoin notably weaker. XRP and Ethereum and Litecoin standing out a little bit stronger. So that's where we stand on the crypto space. So SPY and QQQ, we'll look at those charts here. So QQQ, monster move into the end of the day, broke down. We were approaching the low of the day, and that's when the bulls just turned on the gas into the close here. We did close at 311. We're up, well, we were up about a penny. Now we're down 4 pennies. So not really much here after hours to report. So brand new all-time highs for S&P 500 and the QQQ sector, so the tech sector. And higher low every candle now on SPY for the last 4 days. So we're just slow and steady grind up at this point, but no major red flags. Taking a look at the hourly chart, we are holding EMA 12 as well. So that's going to be very notable once we lose that level. So we'll see if bulls continue to buy the dip into tomorrow. The dollar getting crushed. So we've been talking about this for a while now, about the daily bear flag that's playing through now. We also have a daily downtrend, weekly downtrend, monthly bear flag playing out now as well. Get rid of those lines. So monthly bear flag following through. We have support at 88.25, which we're getting very close to that now. So personally, I'm starting to look a little bit of the other way now. I'm starting to be a little bit more cautious, using tighter stop losses and just not getting complacent because we're approaching monthly oversold. We're weekly oversold almost here as well. And on the daily, we're oversold. So yes, we can absolutely get more extreme. We could touch down to 88 or even below, as we see here in the monthly RSI back in 2008 in the financial crisis. We did get down to the RSI of the 20 or so. So we're currently at 33. So based on historical levels, it is possible for us to go lower from here. And if we were to look at this monthly bear flag and draw that out, bring us down here to around the 84 to 85 level. So it could happen. It can always happen. It can always go lower than you think. So other than that, let's just take a look at the bull list and the bear list. So VIX was down over 3% today. See here, XLE was down. Pretty much it for the major broader sectors. XHB, the home builders ETF, up over 2%. XBI, biotech sector, was up 1.5% essentially. IWM up over 1%, new all-time highs. Oil up over 1%, breaking to new highs as well. $48 currently. And let's look into the metals here. So we've been calling out silver's been a lot stronger than gold, and we are breaking out of this weekly descending triangle bullish. And we do have resistance here at 25.84. We're currently at 25.96. No resistance after that until 29.85. But keep in mind what gold did similar thing here. We broke from this descending triangle on the weekly. We broke prior resistance and then changed the weekly trend into an uptrend and then immediately into a lower low and gave it all back and then bounced off this monthly yellow uptrend line. So is that same thing going to happen with silver? Potentially. Doesn't have to, but it potentially could. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that potential. But silver definitely stronger. It's up 2.5% essentially today. Again, about double of what gold is, similar to yesterday. Daily uptrend. Had a nice base of support here around the 23.50 level. But bulls in full control of the silver chart. And gold broke to new highs as well, got over 1875 resistance. So no real resistance up until 1965. So congrats to the bulls. We also have EMA 12 looking to cross bearish through 26 on the daily. And that cross has already happened on silver. So we'll see if gold is headed to the 1900 level. And the healthcare sector was up over 1% today. That's pretty much all. Nothing really to report other than that. So let's take a look at some individual stock analysis. So Dash was hit with a short report, and Tesla, new all-time highs. Huge, huge move today. Closed very, very strong. But before we jump into those charts, let's take a look at Dash. So Dash looks like it wants to confirm a daily bear flag. And that is a big, big drop from where we are to Citron's price target. So if we were to drop to $40 here, that's about a 72% drop. And I remember everybody was foaming at the mouth about this and Airbnb and just looking to load up on any pullback. And I continued to reiterate to remain cautious. And sure enough, we have this short report coming out with a price target well below where we are now. And if you did enter on this daily bounce, you could have made upwards of 10%. But is it really worth the 10% when we don't have any clear defined support and resistance levels? And the IPO has had a huge debut. Personally, I wouldn't have touched this with a 10-foot pole, but you know, obviously, if you're going to day trade it, there's day trades to be had. We hit hourly oversold there. That was a nice bounce. And then 5-minute oversold, played out a couple of times. So there is plays. There was a nice double bottom there at 150. And if you entered off of that, you'd be up about 2.5%. But again, very, 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 very risky. And the risk, in my opinion, is to the downside on this one. So Airbnb up over 6% again today, continuing the daily bounce. So again, we mentioned once we broke the lower high every candle pattern, we could expect a bounce. So yesterday, if you would have entered on that pattern break at the break of 127.60, you'd be now up almost 20%. So congrats to the bulls on Airbnb. And we did have an hourly higher low. So it looks like we have a new hourly higher low established at 135. So that's the most important support. Looking to form another hourly higher low here and potential hourly bull flag into tomorrow. Resistance up at 151.10. Actually, we did hit a high of 152.44 and pulled back. So that would be the most important resistance going into tomorrow. And then it will be the all-time high up at 164s. So that's where we stand. INSG was down 3%, Riot down, finished the day down 3%, which I think surprised a lot of people with Bitcoin breaking to new highs and alts running. I bet you any money people wouldn't have expected Riot closing red today, but here we are. On the bull list, DFLY up 12% today, DDD up over almost 7% on the day, AB&B, Tesla. So congrats to the Tesla bulls. They continue to impress, and they got over 654.32 resistance. The high of the day was 658.82. So new all-time high, and nice bounce there off EMA 12, and looks like the daily higher low is set at 605. So congrats to the bulls. Zooming in here to the hourly. So we didn't really form an hourly high or low here for quite some time, all the way down here at 619. So just keep in mind that once we do start to consolidate on the hourly, we could pull back from here about 5% and still be in an hourly uptrend. So that's where we stand. Apple was up almost 1%, a little over 0.5% on the day. Amazon was down marginally. Microsoft basically flat. So that's where we stand. In terms of individual tickers, we'll do a quick MJ review here as well. So again, we had that news about New Jersey coming out with lawmaker news about recreational legalization. So we'll just take a look at some notable losers on the day. PWR, SNDL, APHA, Tilray. So Tilray and Aphria getting some profit taking. Hexo is down 3% today. So those are the notable losers on the day. PCLO up 26%. Congrats to the bulls there. So Farmacello. So let's take a look at CGC. CGC had some decent volume coming in there, and we had a 15-minute equilibrium that we were watching that broke bare, but we essentially are holding this support here at 26, basis support at $26. Most important support is $25.97. We break that, we'll look down to $25, psychological. So that's where we stand. Taking a look at the daily chart. Daily chart, still looking to form that daily high or low. Did we change the hourly trend? Low, high, higher, low. No, we have not. So we need to break 27.54 to be confident that the daily high or low is set on the canopy growth chart. So Aphria down over 5% today. So still more profit taking. Essentially, if you entered in the last few days, you are now red. And this is why in my video, I did a Aphria and Tilray merger video, and I said, watch out, a lot of people were bullish APHA, and it was one of the strongest names, but that deal was better for Tilray. I mentioned it in that video before it was even confirmed a deal. It was still a rumor, and I said, be careful. They tend to give it all back and then some. And if I had to guess or predict, I would say that Tilray is going to do better. And sure enough, APHA gave back all the gains the next day at the open, and Tilray maintained a gain of about 20% because they're keeping the Tilray name, and obviously they stood to benefit. They were the least amount of market cap, so obviously them keeping their name and becoming a bigger company than Aphria now. Well, they're merging together, but Aphria was a bigger company before, so obviously it's just much of a better deal for the Tilray bulls. So that's where we stand. Hexo, just taking a look here, still holding daily EMA 12. So that's going to be the line in the sand moving forward. If we can continue to hold EMA 12, that'll be extremely bullish. We did have a weekly bull cross of the EMAs. We're currently sitting, so I'd like to see us close the week with EMA 12 above EMA 26, which it currently is at the moment. So if we can close the day out tomorrow, with that still being the case, I'll be extremely bullish into next week. And just taking a look here, see if there's anything else I wanted to mention. So we were watching a potential cup and handle, which was negated. We do have a potential bear cross here of EMA 12 and 26 on the hourly. Closed at 105. We're up about 1 penny here after hours. And we do have this little bit of a support line here as well. We had this daily EQ. We can get rid of those now, as those seem to be levels that are now a thing of the past. So we'll see if this uptrend line holds here into tomorrow and the rest of the week. But as long as we maintain over $1, it's extremely bullish in my opinion. So Truly breaking to a new all-time high, slow and steady grind up continues. Still just going to be looking for a daily higher low compared to $36 once we do pull back. So if we do start hourly consolidation and break the low of the previous hourly candle, we could drop about 15% from here and still be in a daily uptrend, scouting a daily higher low. So just keep in mind that once we do break that higher low pattern every candle, every day, and lose EMA 12 support here as well, then we'll scout a daily higher low compared to $36. But need to lose the hourly uptrend to signify that daily consolidation or daily consolidation is underway. So hourly uptrend, we could just a slow and steady grind up. Look at this hourly higher low every candle, and we're finally breaking that pattern here now. But essentially we had an hourly higher low every candle for 12 hours in a row, 12 bars in a row. We are breaking that now. Could be a potential hourly bull flag. So we'll continue to monitor this, but essentially just looking for an hourly higher low compared to 38. So that's where we stand. Taking a look at the notable losers on the day: KBev, MedMen, Chiron down the most. On the bull list, we had CXXI up over 10%. Ian up almost 5%. Vireo up 3.8%. IIPR continues to impress bulls, 3.5% on the day. So that's pretty much where we stand. MSOs and US companies just slow and steady grind up. No change, really nothing to see here, but slow and steady gains. So that's pretty much where we stand. I think that's all I have for you guys today. Again, let me know in the comments below if there's any tickers or any clarification you need with anything. I'd be happy to help. And in summary, we're still watching stimulus, and into tomorrow we have monthly OPEX, so quad witching and monthly options expiry. It's going to be a volatile day, I think, in my opinion. Markets in the crypto space are at all-time highs, showing signs of potentially topping out on the daily, starting daily consolidation. SPY, the S&P 500, the tech sector at all-time highs. So we have the dollar also approaching monthly support and getting very extended on the RSI oversold levels. So again, it's potentially time to start looking the other way and watch out for a big spike in volatility. So with that, thanks again for joining us on The Pursuit of Wealth for another daily market recap. And we shall see you tomorrow after market close. Take care, everyone.